5,000 years ago, our ancestors moved 40-ton stones across 200 kilometers of rugged terrain. Not because they had to, but because those specific stones did something no others could. Scientists just fed everything we know about Stonehenge into an advanced AI, and what came back shocked them. The monument wasn't designed to honor the gods or track the stars. It was built to do something to the people standing inside it. Something that would change how they think, how they feel, how they perceive reality itself. Stonehenge is a machine, and we're only now figuring out what it does. For centuries, archaeologists have debated the purpose of Stonehenge. Was it a burial ground? A healing temple? An astronomical calendar? Theories have come and gone, but none of them fully explain the monument's complexity. But now, researchers have done something unprecedented. They fed everything we know about Stonehenge into an advanced AI system. Archaeological surveys, geological reports, acoustic measurements, astronomical alignments, everything. And the AI found patterns that human researchers had missed for generations. What emerged from this analysis isn't just another theory. It's a complete reimagining of what Stonehenge was designed to do, and it suggests our prehistoric ancestors were far more advanced than we ever imagined. Today, we're diving deep into these groundbreaking findings. We'll explore how Stonehenge might have functioned as a sophisticated tool for influencing human behavior, why the stones were chosen with mathematical precision, and what this reveals about the lost knowledge of ancient civilizations. This is going to challenge everything you thought you knew. Let me explain how this research was conducted, because it's unlike anything that's been done before. Traditional archaeology relies on human observation, excavation, and interpretation. But humans have cognitive biases. We see patterns we expect to see. We miss connections that don't fit our theories. So researchers decided to let artificial intelligence examine Stonehenge with completely fresh eyes, or rather, fresh algorithms. They compiled decades of data, laser scans showing the exact position of every stone, chemical analyses of the rock composition, measurements of acoustic properties, records of astronomical alignments, even data on the surrounding landscape and buried structures. Then they fed all of this into a machine learning system designed to detect patterns across massive datasets. And the AI started making connections. First, it determined that Stonehenge isn't an isolated structure. The surrounding landscape contains dozens of other monuments, barrows, and earthworks. When mapped together, they form a unified complex, spanning several square kilometers. Stonehenge sits at the center of this network. It's the hub, the focal point. But that was just the beginning. The AI then analyzed the stones themselves, and this is where things get really interesting. Because it turns out the builders didn't just grab the nearest available rocks. They transported specific types of stone from quarries over 200 kilometers away. Why would they do that? Why move 40-ton blocks across that distance when suitable stone existed nearby? The AI found the answer, and it has to do with the unique properties of those specific stones. Here's what the AI discovered about the stones. They weren't chosen for their size or their appearance. They were chosen for how they sound. Recent acoustic studies have shown that the bluestones at Stonehenge have remarkable properties. When struck, they produce clear, bell-like tones. Different stones produce different frequencies. The builders knew this. They had to. Because they transported these specific stones hundreds of kilometers, specifically for their acoustic characteristics. But it goes deeper than that. When the AI analyzed the arrangement of the stones, it found their position to create specific acoustic effects. The circle acts as an amplifier. Sound bounces between the stones in precise patterns, creating zones of amplification and interference. If you stand in certain positions within the circle and produce sound, the monument resonates. The stones amplify frequencies in the range of human speech and chanting. But they also amplify something else: infrasound. Infrasound is sound below the range of human hearing, below 20 hertz. We can't consciously hear it, but our bodies respond to it. Infrasound can cause feelings of awe, anxiety, or euphoria. It can make people feel a presence in a room. It can induce altered states of consciousness. The AI determined that Stonehenge's geometry creates standing waves of infrasound at specific frequencies. When large groups gathered inside the circle, when drums beat and voices chanted, the monument would have generated powerful infrasonic resonance. And this would have affected everyone present on a neurological level. The acoustic properties were just the first layer. The AI found something else. Magnetic field measurements around Stonehenge show unusual variations. Certain stones create localized magnetic anomalies. The ground beneath specific areas shows heightened magnetic activity. Now you might think this is just natural geological variation, but the AI found patterns in where these anomalies occur. They're not random. They correspond to specific positions within the monument's geometry. The builders placed magnetically active stones in precise locations. Why does this matter? Because magnetic fields affect human neurology. Studies have shown that exposure to certain magnetic field patterns can influence mood, perception, and even cognition. Strong magnetic fields can induce visual hallucinations and feelings of transcendence. Our ancestors might not have understood magnetism the way we do, but they could have observed its effects empirically. They could have noticed that certain stones, in certain arrangements, made people feel different, and they could have optimized the design accordingly. When you combine the acoustic resonance with the magnetic properties, you get something extraordinary, a space that fundamentally alters the consciousness of everyone within it, a tool for creating shared experiences and synchronized mental states among large groups. Now let's talk about the astronomical component, because this is where the picture really comes together. Everyone knows that Stonehenge aligns with the summer solstice sunrise. But the AI analysis revealed something more sophisticated. The monument tracks lunar cycles with extraordinary precision. Specific stones mark the northernmost and southernmost rising and setting points of the moon. These positions change over an 18.6-year cycle, called the lunar standstill cycle. The builders encoded this knowledge into the architecture. But here's what's fascinating. The lunar alignments aren't just for timekeeping. They correspond to the optimal times for the acoustic and magnetic effects to be strongest. The AI found correlations between lunar positions, tidal effects on the groundwater table, and variations in the local magnetic field. During certain lunar phases, the monument's properties would have been amplified. This suggests the builders understood the connections between celestial cycles, terrestrial magnetism, and human neurology. They knew when to hold ceremonies for maximum psychological impact. They were engineering altered states of consciousness using astronomy, acoustics, and magnetism. This isn't primitive superstition. This is sophisticated technology applied to human psychology. Let's talk about what this reveals about the builders themselves. Constructing Stonehenge required advanced knowledge across multiple domains: astronomy for the alignments, acoustics for the sound properties, geology for selecting the right stones, engineering for moving and erecting multi-ton blocks with millimeter precision. And according to the AI analysis, this wasn't a gradual evolution. The design shows evidence of centralized planning. Someone or some group had a comprehensive understanding of the final goal, before construction began. This implies a sophisticated society with specialized knowledge and coordinated labor. Not scattered tribes, but an organized culture capable of multi-generational projects requiring precise mathematical calculations. The monument took centuries to complete, but the design remained consistent throughout. Knowledge was preserved and transmitted accurately across generations. This challenges our assumptions about prehistoric societies. We tend to imagine our ancestors as primitive, superstitious people, making crude attempts to understand the world. But the evidence suggests something different. A culture that had cracked fundamental principles of physics, neurology, and psychology, and applied them with stunning effectiveness. So what was Stonehenge really for? Based on the AI analysis, it functioned as a tool for creating powerful, synchronized psychological experiences among large groups. The acoustic resonance, magnetic fields, and ceremonial timing combined to induce altered states of consciousness. This could have been used to reinforce social cohesion, establish authority, facilitate collective decision-making, or create shared spiritual experiences. Whether we call it psychological manipulation or advanced ritual technology depends on your perspective. But what's clear is that Stonehenge wasn't a simple temple or observatory. It was a machine for influencing human consciousness. And it worked. The implications are staggering. If our ancestors possessed this level of sophistication 5,000 years ago, what other knowledge have we lost? What other monuments around the world might contain encoded wisdom waiting to be rediscovered? The AI analysis of Stonehenge isn't just revealing secrets about the past, it's forcing us to reconsider the entire trajectory of human civilization. And we're only beginning to understand what our ancestors really knew. What do you think? Does this change how you see ancient monuments? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more deep dives into archaeological mysteries, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.